Who really knows the sources and veracities of many urban legends? Many of them don't make sense, because perhaps the real stories are just too creepy, horrific, or don't work with the current zeitgeist to pass on. In this third installment of The Hotel from the Rising Sun, we explore a story told by a vampire who knew what occurred before it was passed down by generations of teenagers. As Rod Serling might have said, for your consideration, it's not Goatman's bridge.
I'm an elf and not a vampire, who saw the need for a hotel in New Orleans which caters exclusively to vampires. Since my guests have lived over several lifetimes and managed to have become involved in unusual situations due to their lifestyles, I have gathered quite a bit of information and stories that I would like to share. One of those stories I call, It's Not Goatman's Bridge. When incidents occur of which many of its components aren't publicly known, people guess at causation and the details. These items are filled in and changed over the years to fit the zeitgeist and sensibilities of the time. There have been several videos and television shows about a Texas bridge called Goatman's Bridge, which according to one current version of the story is supposedly haunted by a black goat herder who without explanation was killed by the Ku Klux Klan. The reasons for the supposed event aren't identified or explored. So I asked one of my guests who had lived during that time in that area, if he knew about what happened, if anything at all. He did. The story turned out to be a bit more twisted than I anticipated, but seemed to make more sense as to why the whole story wasn't handed down. There was a black goat herder near the bridge. He had a perverse and extensive sexual drive, and was caught several times in bestiality with his goats, which resulted in some calling the bridge Goatfucker's Bridge. While this activity was bizarre and actually illegal, it was felt that he usually tried to hide what he was doing and it wasn't hurting anyone. However, more of a concern was that he had been seen leering at white women with some peeping Tom incidents. There was the thought that, if he was having sex with goats, maybe this would relieve enough pressure, so he won't rape anyone. But there still remained a lot of concern as to where his impulses might take him. Some of the locals decided preventative action needed to be taken. My guest said he was at the planning meeting to address the problem. No one expressed any interest in killing the goat herder, but just wanted to prevent the potential threat. Being farmers and ranchers, they decided to handle it, as done with their livestock, castration. This would reduce his drive, as well prevent any impregnation, if one did occur. This solution was considered the best and was agreed upon by the group. Unfortunately, my guest wasn't part of the on-site implementation group. And some people shouldn't be left without supervision. It wasn't clear as to what exactly happened. But on the way to addressing the problem, the plan changed. No, they didn't kill him, but something else happened and it wasn't good. It likely was due to sadistic personalities in the implementation group. Instead of the agreed-upon plan of castrating him, the group decided instead to leave his testicles, but remove his penis, which would maintain his sexual drive with no way to relieve it while still preventing any actual rapes. They seemed to think this would be funny. My guest said he could never trust those guys to do anything again. After a few days without a penis, the goat herder went crazy and he hung himself on the bridge. Over the years, Goatfucker's Bridge's name was cleaned up to Goatman's Bridge. Maybe if these ghost chasers want to send the alleged ghost on his way and settle his spirit, they should obtain a severed penis and offer it to him. Imagine shopping around trying to obtain a severed human penis replacement to pacify the ghost. Now, that would be an interesting video. It's not Goatman's Bridge. It's Goatfucker's Bridge. And now you know.